Welcome to the Path of Least Resistance New Player's Guide. It's probably more like a timeline than a guide. I'm not really telling you how to play the characters or anything, but whatever. I'm telling you what to do with them. So this is where we're at so far in terms of shards and whatnot. We still haven't unlocked many of our champions, and we're still kind of focusing on Yasuo, Misfortune, and Jinx. The main goal of day 5 was to unlock nightmares, and nightmares are unlocked by hitting legend level 15, so your legend level is up here, legend level 15. After doing that, you have to log out, log in again, and then beat a 3-star adventure or a 3-star weekly. It's better to do a 3-star weekly because it completes 2 quests, but you can also do a 3-star adventure. And then this button up here unlocks your nightmare adventures, and then the reason we wanted to do it as soon as possible was to unlock our nightmare weeklies, which we have completed all of with Yasuo, and those videos are already up. So if you want to know how to do that, that's how we did it. And we did that with Yasuo starting at level 17, and then he kind of increased as we went across. I haven't done the Bilgewater or Shadow Isles adventures yet. That is something that we probably will do soon. I don't think there's anything stopping me right now. Potentially just better relics. Right now we're using Tempest Blade, Berserker's Buckle, and Everfrost. We could switch off to a second Everfrost, which we found. We could switch off to Stalker's Blade. I did buy the Banshee's Veil that was in my emporium, so that is another thing you can do. Having Spell Shield is pretty nice, so that you don't lose. And yeah, I purchased it here. I also want to get this vault because we can afford it, but I might wait till we have a little bit more Stardust in case something good comes up next. We have 19 hours there, so I think I'm fine just holding off a little bit. Or if we find an influx of Stardust from somewhere, we can pick that up. So, day 5. Let's switch back to the spreadsheet now, I think. Alright, I'll show a little bit of Misfortune versus the Colossus. This was a weird adventure. I don't know what the AI was doing, but they had many chances to kill me that they did not take. I could not tell you why, and you'll see some of that. It happened a little bit against Viego, and it happened a lot against Galio. I can't explain it, but I'm happy that it happened, because otherwise I would have lost pretty badly. I made some critical mistakes in playing, and also Misfortune's like level 13. I don't have the right relics on her, all sorts of things. Anyway, back to the spreadsheet, which I need to find so I can actually look at. So I changed the adventures by day. I had it looking like this, which is fine for information purposes, but to actually like be inputting things in it wasn't really working out for me. So I switched it to this format, now where we have the requirement, which champion we use to beat that requirement, and what day we did that on. I think that's totally fine, and it's easy to read, and I love it. So for quests, we did complete one more, reach level 15 with 3 champions. We still haven't done reach level 8 with 5 champions, but that seems likely to be tomorrow, although there is a new event coming out tomorrow, and Jin is getting a full constellation, and Akshan is coming out, so I have no idea what tomorrow looks like. I'm going to have a very busy time. I was hoping new adventures weren't going to come out while I was doing this guide, because that really splits my time, and my time's already pretty split with everything that I have in real life, plus trying to do this. But whatever, it's a place where we can get a lot more currency, which will be nice. We're probably guaranteed to get Jin to 4 stars, which like for free from the adventure. and that'll be great. That'll give us a unit that we can use to just clear every adventure because Jin's amazing. So, I mean, there are definitely advantages to that. So, on day 5, we did the Colossus with Jinx, followed it up with Collector of Souls, and then we did the 3-star weekly. We should have restarted the game before we did that, but we didn't. And then so we had to do the 3-star weekly again, and the day rolled over. So we did get a new 3-star weekly, so we did get lucky and we got the silver reliquary from this 3-star weekly. If I had done it like 10 minutes later, that wouldn't have been the case. So that was pretty nice. And then I went to sleep because I was exhausted. Day 4 was insane for me. And then when we woke up, we did the 5-star weekly, or the 4.5-star weekly, then the 5.5-star weekly, and then the 6.5-star weekly, and we just kind of worked our way through those. Some of them took a couple attempts, but I mean, still being able to do that at level 20 with no epic relics and only 2 relics, just Steel Tempest and Everfrost, I don't know, that feels pretty good, and seems like it's something that's accessible to players, you know, as soon as they hit legend level 15, which you can do in the first week if you're insane, or probably the second week seems to be more likely. And then, after doing the nightmares, I decided to just go through and fill out all the adventures with Yasuo. So I went as far as I could, and then I was going to start doing it with the Jinx, but I realized that if I did the Colossus with Misfortune, that would unlock Aurelian Soul. So tomorrow we're probably doing Aurelian Soul with Yasuo. It's not going to be any problems at all if I'm doing, you know, 6.5-star weeklies. Aurelian Soul is going to be just fine. Yasuo is very good, is kind of the takeaway. That'll get us the full build relic, which I'm not sure what we're putting that on, but there'll probably be a couple champions where that's going to be an important thing to do. So the next step for our adventure, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. The next things that we're going to do on day 7 is Aurelian Soul on Yasuo, as I said, and then we're going to start filling in all these adventures over here. That would be the normal plan. We'll see what happens tomorrow with the new Rogues event. I might end up spending time there because it's probably time that's better spent there than on like the current adventures I have, but there are a lot of rewards to still be gained from like the Saltwater Scourge, Prodigal Explorer, and all of that. So if we're looking at over it here, so there's a bunch of reliquaries, and you know, all of those are relics, which we could get like Chemetech Duplicator or Guardian Angel from. So that there's a ton of stuff just available to us, a bunch of shards that we can get from these gold vaults, and more shards from these platinum vaults. So there's just like a ton of progression that we have, and once we get that sorted out, it'll help us know where to focus our champions next. Because right now, I don't really have a good idea of how I want to progress right now because I don't know what my currencies are. So when we're looking at things that we picked up currency wise on day 5, we got some Nova shards, and we got a Bilgewater Nova crystal here. That's actually really interesting because we can use it to get something like Misfortune to 6-star potentially, and Misfortune at 6-star is incredibly strong, and so that should help bridge the gap if we need to on some of those harder adventures. We might not have to, but it's definitely an option that's available to us now that wasn't available to us before. I think the only other potential choice is Nautilus, and that doesn't seem like it's as good. So I'm fairly likely to spend that on to Misfortune if I have the excess shards to do so, and it makes sense to do so if we need to. If I don't have to, I might not, but it could make like the Ancient Fear adventure a lot easier, which would be really nice. So we have 2 Ennies there for that, and a 6-star Misfortune seems like it'd be a really nice fill-in. So that is something. We got some Vagar fragments are good. Lee Sin is good because it helps us get Scourge's stash. Although we probably want to unlock Scourge's stash pretty late, because if we unlock that early, then we can get duplicates of it, and we kind of don't want duplicates of it. We got Orn fragments, which we're probably unlikely to use. We got Janna fragments, which are very unlikely to use. We got Kench fragments that we're also unlikely to use. We got Teemo fragments, again, pretty unlikely to use. These might all go into monthly adventures or monthly challenges as we hit the end of the month, but they don't have a lot of use in the adventure process, other than if we get a bunch of them, we can run through some of like those 2-star and 3-star adventures, and that'll be totally fine. And it'll give us, you know, more requirements because we still are only using 3 champions. Picked up some Garion shards, which I'm happy about. We need to get Loose Cannon's payload before Jinx can really take off, and that's from the Garion adventure. Still only at 25, and I would prefer not to spend wild fragments if I don't have to. I'm sitting on 154 of them right now, but if we look at the amount I actually need to spend to get the champions I want to finish Lissandra's adventure, it's a lot more than that. So we're looking at Lissandra, we're looking at Vagar, Misfortune, Nami, Garen, Volibear. A lot of these I could probably import the number of fragments I have of these. That sounds like a fun thing to do. Fragments. And that'll tell us how many fragments we need. And that should be fun. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to do that later. So that you don't have to see that, and I don't want to stop this video because stopping and restarting things is not a strong suit of mine. So, we also did pick up 40 Swain fragments. There's also, and we got some Viego fragments at some point too. I don't know where, or that I wrote it down. Oh, well, maybe I wrote down Vagar instead of Viego. I'll figure it out later. I'm pretty sure we got some Viego fragments at some point from some vault. Yeah, here. Okay, so that was a long time ago. So we got 20, and we can get 20 more, or 40 more from Viego's adventure, the Nightmare adventure. And so that'll get us to 3-star on Viego. Viego's pretty good. I don't necessarily want to run him through everything, but like he's good enough that we can do any of the easier adventures with him, and we don't really have another Shadow Isles champion that's doing very well in terms of fragments. Nami is getting close, and Nami's great. Obviously, we already unlocked the Lux. I spelled Kai'Sa differently, I guess, because that should just be one time. Like a space? What's going on here? There is a space. Okay, so somewhere there's a Kai'Sa with a space, and I need to fix that. Kai'Sa space, replace with Kai'Sa, replace all. Yeah, sure, do that. Okay, great. So we have 40 Kai'Sa fragments. Feels like we have probably 45, right? I'm just rambling to myself now, and this is not helpful for anyone. Anyway, so in the Shurima, we have a little bit on Nidalee, not quite enough. We also have Kai'Sa, which we're unsure how many fragments. Darius has some. We want to unlock him so that we can get Crown Guard Inheritance. That would be very good for us. And then Leona has a few. I think that's from the battle pass probably. And Leona's pretty good, so we're not upset about that. Swain has 40. Swain's great. And Volibear has 60. Volibear is also incredible. So in terms of things that are coming up, those are pretty good. Like we can start using Nami at any time, basically, or Volibear. And we'll have pretty good success with those. We're not doing super well on Demacia, so 25 Garen and then 55 Lux. You need 100 to get a 3-star. So that's kind of our basic measure. And then, let's see what else. For notes, the only one we added, or I added, was that Viego is hard because of the Dawning Shadow. So what that does is it kills one of your units, but in his adventure it gets replaced. It has Grifter's deck on it, so he gets 2 copies of it in his deck that cost 1, and it also draws a card because it has Elixir of Skill on it. What can happen a lot of times is if you're just playing one unit at a time, you can get overwhelmed. He'll just kill your units and then replace the Dawning Shadow, so you can never actually play a unit. And so should that happen, you'll lose the game. So sometimes you need to just hold your mana and your cards and then play a bunch of things at once to kind of swarm through, and then that's a way to win. I think that is it. So mostly what we've done in the last 2 days is do our nightmare adventures and then start clearing out some of the requirements so that we can get more fragments. Basically, that's what we're looking for right now, is getting more fragments. And then tomorrow, I think the Rogue's Adventure will probably change what we're doing pretty significantly. We'll probably spend like a fair amount of time in there. And hopefully it's of a difficulty where that's not too hard, and we can get some fragments for Jhin, and then we'll run Jhin through everything. That's kind of the intent. Obviously I have to make videos for the 3 stars against a 5-star champion with Akshan and Jhin. Jhin will be incredibly easy. I have no idea how Akshan's going to play. His deck doesn't sound super good and his powers don't sound super good, but I'm often surprised when I play Runeterra. I think one thing and then something completely different happens. Here I should have... Oh, I guess I didn't have a choice. Definitely should have recalled my Zed. I guess I was dying anyway. Oh, it doesn't matter. I had that ghost in hand for a long time. I should have played it earlier on Zed so that I could have attacked with Elusive, and then had I done that at any point I would have won that game. But I didn't, and it was bad. Yeah, so that's it. Next thing we're doing with the new player guide is just continuing to get fragments. We're going to start unlocking some of those champions that we have high amounts of currency for, so we can start running them through the Adventures by Day tab and unlock, like, especially some of these easier adventures. Just doing these will give us so many more relics and more shards so that we have more information, and with that information we'll be able to decide exactly what we want to do and which champions, you know, we're able to unlock for free that we can put through adventures, and what we're going to need to spend the wild shards on. Until we know that, it's going to be really hard to actually make any good decisions, so we just need to start working on world adventures so that we know what we have available to us. And that is it for me. You can watch this video a bit and kind of see some exciting stuff. Some weirdness, basically. Turn the banner off too. And then Just gotta full screen this. As you can tell, I'm super good with technology. Definitely know my editing softwares. I don't. It's really bad. So a lot of times here, I wasn't able to attack with Zed. I put Black Cleaver on Zed and he became kind of my win condition, but I can't attack because Malphite's just bigger than Zed. This actually wasn't true in this case. Had I attacked, Malphite only would have been able to do 8 damage to Zed, and I have Tough and 10 hit points. Not attacking just makes no sense. I don't think I realized that at the time. I just thought, like, if I attacked, I would die. Not true. I did pick up the Thrall power because games were lasting 5 rounds, so I felt like it was fine to do that. And here I decided to keep Thrall, so I block the lesser thing and not Malphite himself. Then I got hit with Judgment anyway, which removes the Thrall, but I was fine taking damage, even though I'm set to 1 hit point here, because I felt like that was a better choice than losing Zed, which is my only chance of winning. Here I get a bunch of hired guns in hand, and my thought is that if I have hired guns, I can give vulnerable. If I have vulnerable on units, then when I attack, I can delete Malphite, which will save the game for me. And then I just attack with everything because Galio's thing is that if he has over 20 hit points, he like resummons himself, or he can give himself Spell Shield. So I figured removing him was just the better play. And so we do that. Living at 1 hit point is not good. It made me really nervous. And he plays Malphite again here. And it made me really sad because Malphite, again, just has more hit points than I can kill with Zed. He also has the power in his hand where he can stun all enemies. So I actually waited for him to attack here. Not sure why I didn't sacrifice the 0-3. That didn't really make a lot of sense. But yeah. So I waited for him to attack because if I used all my mana and then he used his stun all, I would have lost the game on the spot, which we didn't want to do. I attack here because I do have double up in hand. I can do 1 damage to the enemy nexus. Or not the nexus, but to Malphite, which would let Zed kill him, so that would have been fine. And here I recall Zed. Not sure why. I'm sure it's fine, but I'm not sure it's like different than just playing the new Zed. And I did get a bunch of things that gave me rally in this adventure, so I have Golden Aegis. And I wish I had vulnerable here, because then I could have killed the Malphite. So this attack overall wasn't super productive. One cool thing about Misfortune is that the Powder Monkey will eat the Rockfall Path. I think this was, I don't know exactly what it's called, but the thing that obliterates your unit. So your Powder Monkey will get obliterated, which is completely fine. So there, I don't know why Malphite didn't attack me. I think it just wanted to get a Galio on the board. But it didn't make sense, he should have attacked. And here I attack with Scout. Reason for doing so is that it'll trigger Misfortune's thing. All I need to do is 16 damage. The opponent decides not to block, which makes absolutely no sense, but I'm fine with it. This is another situation where attacking isn't super productive. Malphite has Spell Shield, I can't kill him, but I do need to attack or I cannot win the game. So I attack here, and I thought about not attacking with the Powder Monkeys because I could have kept them as blockers. the opponent blocks with Galio against the Zed instead of the Malphite, which didn't make sense to me. I have a Relentless Pursuit, so I take this attack here, attacking with everything to force them to block, and I win. A lot of that was honestly solely due to the fact that they just didn't decide to kill me on the many times that they had the opportunity to do so. So I don't know what the AI was doing, but I was pretty thankful for it, because otherwise I was definitely going to lose that adventure. Malphite's probably the worst thing you can get. You can have Shyvana, Malphite, or Senna. So if you get Malphite and you lose, it's fine, just go again and hopefully you get an easier one. I think Senna's the easiest, Shyvana's probably the middle ground. Yeah. And that is all for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what I'm doing, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.